This is the Songwriter Connection, the award-winning elite music podcast of the year, connecting the songs and the people who write them. Welcome, songwriters, friends of the song, and fans of great music. Pull up a chair around the dining room table. From his home in Nashville, Tennessee, here's your host, songwriter and storyteller, Dave Linehan.
Well, thank you, Kate, for the new opens and closes. I love her. That's Kate Martin, and she's just the best. Adore you, Kate. Thank you. Thank you for joining us. It's good to have you here. I've got a special guest that he and I go way back. And I'll tell you, I used to do this is just around the corner from where I live. There's a little place called the 12 Keys. And I asked if we could, and we did, and we got this little songwriter night going, and it was a lot of fun. We'd have 3 rounds of 3 singers every single night. And I urge you to do the same thing. Maybe in your hometown where you're listening, you get like-minded people that love the song and the craft of songwriting. Find a little place to play. You don't even need a sound system. You really don't. Over at the Bobby's Idlehour, which is legendary here on Music Row, my friends Janet and Charles Cox, they do this like guitar pull, unmiked, every Wednesday, and you can just come in and play, which is really cool. So find a place like that you could do that, and it'll work well for you. It really will. Now, this gentleman used to come and play, and he'd bring his little daughter, who was Thea, right? How old is Thea now? Elliott Boo is my guest.
Thea is 8.
She's
8 years old.
Way.
So she's doubled in everything since you've last seen.
Oh my God! And I will never forget. You bought her a little guitar, and she had that case, and she brought it in, and she would get up on stage with you. It was so cute. I have a picture of you guys playing on the stage together.
It was fun. That was actually a pretty fun evening. I'm not sure if it was the same night that she started vandalizing everyone's phones with stickers. But I know that there were still stickers on your phone and Greg Matthews and mine for a good while.
Oh, she was adorable. Loved it. And you kind of did the same thing. So after the 12 Keys days, you found a place to play. And a little place called, not a little place, it's a nice place. It's the Lost Patty, one of my favorite Irish pubs. And you just started playing there every Thursday. And you got your own gig there, and you started having guests in. And you built one hell of a band. And Elliot Boo, my guest here today, is so kind to let us do a takeover once a month. And dude, I really appreciate that, you know.
I appreciate you bringing everybody else in, because it's all those, the 12 Keys family and the other and those other people that are all around town that once every month or two. They kind of flood in, and it's a cool thing for the bar too. But the bar was I found that place that's really close to where I first lived when I started doing music, and that was the only bar that I went to. Yeah. I mean, I didn't go to any songwriter rounds or anything like that. So when I started doing music, COVID had happened, and a lot of the places did not have live music, and that was a place that was close. It seemed like, hey, they don't have anything going on. I can try to figure this out here. And Mihal and I figured it out.
Mihal's manages the place. He owns it, right?
The owner of the Lost Patty.
And it's spelled Michael, but you don't ever call him Michael.
It's Mihal.
It's Mihal.
Mihal, yes, sir.
He's from Irish, and he's true Irish through and through, and a great guy.
But they do a lot of different things over there. But it was one of those places that when I first started playing these writers rounds and met you at 12 Keys, one of the very first times that I'd played. Yeah. I was finding that place as well. So a lot of these things that kind of I started with are still here and floating around.
You're calling it picking on the patty.
Picking at the patty.
Picking at the patty, which I love it. Great.
We played an occasional gig here or there when I first started, and then pretty soon started playing the weekly round there, and we've been doing it for 3 years at least. So
I walked into the local one night, and there was this band playing. They're awesome. And I didn't recognize you. You look different. You didn't have glasses? What? I don't know what it was.
Glasses, beard, hat choice. I think it depends on what's clean.
And I knew everybody in your band. It was so awesome. Tell me about putting together a band for what you do.
Man, putting it together.
How'd you do it?
I think I just conned a bunch of people into playing with it.
Like Max here.
And honestly,
Max Woolery's here too, and he's a great guitar player.
Yes, and thank you for coming.
Yeah. Glad to be here.
Yeah.
But it kind of goes back to like the things that we started with, right? And in the first round that I played was with the Commodore, and I went there for 2-3 weeks and watched these rounds just by myself in the back, and I'd never really thought about doing that, but a lot of these things led up to it, and I'm sitting back there watching, and the one night that I was actually going to play the open mic, I'd signed up, and there I'm sitting, and still haven't talked to a soul. and Robbie Anderson and Isabella Brown are playing on stage. And Max was actually playing that night too, believe it or not, in maybe the round before that. And I'd seen them, and I was like, man, I really like them. I really like those guys. And then Robbie and Isabella was playing together, and I thought, if I don't meet those two tonight, I'll never talk to a soul in Nashville, right? And it turns out they're some of my best friends. Yeah. And then fast forward to just going kind of that route of, if you really like somebody, invest in them.
Exactly.
And just do it,
I agree with
regardless of what happens. And we've managed to play some shows with a group of nothing but friends that are all their own artists, all their own songwriters, producers, engineers.
Do it all.
Everybody has their own thing. So it's not really, none of the Impromptus is the Impromptus, right?
And all those folks played with us at the 12 Keys at one time or another.
Right. And so sometimes it would all separate and sometimes all together.
All together, yeah.
We even brought Oliver in there one night, which is a funny story, I think, in itself. But
and your drummer used to hang out too.
Yeah, Matt as well.
Yeah, I didn't recognize him. He's looking good.
Well, he jumped in with us, and I'm grateful that he did on another show, and then went on a couple runs with us, and it was actually on our live album that we're releasing. So,
that's good.
It's good to do that with all the same group.
I just want to quickly say, Isabella Brown, one of my favorite people. She is amazing, and she'll get up on stage and go, "I like country music," and I'm not apologizing. She just plays it country, and let me tell you, she's got a sound, and it's in her blood. Her grandfather was a Grand Ole Opry member. Is in the Country Music Hall of Fame. Jim Ed Brown is her granddad. So she grew up around the business. And I think it's just awesome. We're going to get her on the podcast. She's probably got some cool stories.
Yep, and I hope she's gonna be putting out some more music pretty soon. So
I love what she's writing.
We've got a little thing. Speaking of conning people into doing things, we're playing a big show in Indiana this April.
Good.
And we're bringing kind of our group to play.
Good.
We've got a great local band, Tommy Kelly, that's gonna help us out and come play a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we're bringing 3 bands from Nashville. So Isabella Brown is going to be the opener in all of her glory, which is going to be awesome. And then Griffin Dunn's also going to be coming as well, who just released an album.
Yep.
And then the Impromptu. So it's
that's your band, the Impromptu.
Yeah, and it's really the same group of people, right? Yeah. There's an added fiddle and a steel and a mix and match here or there, but it's a group of basically just awesome people that we're going to a big venue. We're going to do a songwriter event that Friday. And then that Saturday, play a big band show.
We talk a lot about finding your tribe, and it seems like you have. Now, where are you playing? Where's this gig at?
This gig's at the Zora's Shrine in Terre Haute, Indiana. So last Friday, Max and Oliver and I got the chance to open for BlackHawk there.
Beautiful.
And it was right before that storm.
Henry Paul,
right before
lead singer, put
on.
That band together with also of the Outlaws, was on this podcast not too long ago. Great guy.
They were awesome, too.
Yeah. Oh, sure.
They put on a great show, and they sounded great.
Good.
But it's the same venue.
Great.
Maybe fit about 1,500 people in
That's
there.
Awesome.
But we're going to try to put as many as we can.
I think that's cool.
Tickets go on sale this Friday with the...
Good. That's Friday as we're recording now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
when is the show?
The show is April 17th and 18th.
Well, there's plenty of time to get tickets if it's not sold out by now. And where can they get them?
They can get them at Eventbrite, and then all the links on my socials. Mm-hmm. And then they're also going to be on businesses throughout the Wabash Valley. So there's about 10 counties there that we're gonna spread out so people can be able to find them.
I think that's awesome.
And we're gonna have a great show. So 4 full bands. And like you said, starting with Isabella is
she's amazing.
Is a cool way to do it.
Yeah. I was listening to your music all morning, and it was my workout tape this morning. And I didn't realize you had so much music out there already. You are just pretty prolific when it comes to writing. And I noticed, and I wanted to ask you about this, that not most of them not co-written, just written by you, and there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I think they're great songs. But do you have a philosophy about how you like to write?
Not at all. I don't think after 3.5 years I still know anything about what I'm doing.
You've only been doing this 3.5 years.
I mean, I've had a guitar, but when we started playing open mics and doing this thing in Nashville.
Wow.
So when I started meeting these guys,
that's talent.
We just started writing songs. So if you can see, I leave everything that I've released on there. So my early stuff that I wrote by myself, it's not that good.
You got a bunch of new
But there's
music.
a lot of stuff that has evolved in how I write by myself. And I used to write a lot of just like a lot of writers, schedule writes back and forth. But as I got busier and life circumstances changed and what we were doing, it's very hard to even schedule writes. So I'll have a write with someone every now and then, but a lot of the times it's, Max and I hanging out, or Robbie, or Oliver, or somebody like that. Or something that'll just sit, or you'll wake up with it, and then you write it down, and sometimes it's good, and most of the times it's not.
Isn't that the truth?
I'd tell you to swipe up for the ebook, but there's not much there.
You got to get through the garbage to get to the good stuff, but you just got to keep writing, right? Yeah. Not every song is going to be a hit, that's for sure. But I love what you're doing, and to me, I think it was, and I hate to put anybody in a box or in a genre. I don't even believe in genres, but if I was to turn on outlaw country on Sirius XM, I think the stuff that you're doing would fit in there perfectly. So, would you consider yourself an outlaw country fan?
I would say so.
Yeah, Americana.
Our what did we say, Country-kana the other day?
Country-kana, I like that. Yeah,
but it is. But like I feel like in some of our live shows, you'll feel maybe we're playing some kind of an outlaw style, and then you'll see Ollie over on the bleachers being the tambourine or something like that, and then we'll come back into something that's completely different, right?
Do you do many covers when you're playing it?
Not very many.
Not too many.
I don't know that we've played. I don't know that I've ever played a show that I've played more covers than originals.
Wow.
It's the other night at the Shrine, the band before us, they came and asked, it was like, hey man, just so there's no crossover, like
what do you play?
What are you playing? And he was like, I think we got one cover. He's like, we're playing The Weight. That's it?
That's it?
All right. It was awesome.
Take a load off, Grant.
It's been fun to do that because when you're trying to play gigs and they're not just writers' rounds, you're trying to get paid and you're trying to book these things.
Right.
These are cover gigs, right? You can't sing on Broadway unless you're singing that. There's other places that just fit that, and regular bars and everything else. So to go to Indiana and play in front of a lot of people and get kind of reacquainted with them as a musician by playing originals is not how you're supposed to go about it.
But you do it your way, don't you? See what I mean?
But it's kept us away from some of these places where that's not an option for us,
right?
To play there, even if it would be nice.
Yeah, but you've opened up for some great people there in Indiana.
Oh, and it's been awesome.
Brantley Gilbert and Alabama and
Dustin Lynch as well. And I think we played one cover each set.
Did you?
For that?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah,
which was fun. We either open with one. We like to open with a little mashup.
As like part of his band, I love the choices that he makes as far as if it's going to be a cover, it's got to be a great song. And like that show was The Weight, and then the Alabama show is 7 Spanish Angels.
Oh,
and so it's like
I saw you do that at the Patty the other day, and you know what I love about it is the way you do it is you put your own twist on it. You made it yours. Everybody's used to that Willie and Ray version, but your version is killer.
Well, we appreciate it. Yeah. But it's a little bit of everything. Like we played a brand new place last night in Murfreesboro, the Borough of Bourbons and Brews.
Nice.
And it was an amazing place. But the owners were in there and a few of the locals, and I played a ton of originals, and they enjoyed it, right? So there are places out there that fit whatever kind of artist or whatever kind of musician you are.
Yeah.
And sometimes you find them, right?
Sometimes you do.
So
I have to commend you on your performance skills. I played with you a month or so ago. It was the anniversary of Bobby's Idol Hour, and you and I were in the same round. And I just love the way you grabbed that crowd and you got them going, and awesome. And that's something I think you got to have talent for, but I think it's also something that's like songwriting. It's a craft. You learn how to grab an audience and entertain, and that's what you're doing. And
Well, you got to
really commend you.
There's a bunch of people to watch too that'll help with that. You know what I mean? Like meeting a lot of folks. Like you were my first co-write in Nashville.
Really?
Wow. And then the second one was Mark, who's been on this podcast as well. So between those guys and kind of getting feet wet in writing and in performing and that, and I spent a lot of time at Bobby's Idol Hour and idolized Ray Sisk.
Oh my God!
And
great.
But to watch him play and sing and talk and it's you can see how it's done if you just watch the people that you respect. And
I like watching the expressions on your face when you sing. I'm a look up, close your eyes kind of guy. You are just like animated, right, Max? Am I lying?
He'll single somebody out for that one line and do one of them.
That's right. Good. Well, pick up the guitars, guys. We got to hear his song. We're 14 minutes into this pod, and we haven't any live music around the dining room table. That's what we're known for on Songwriter Connection. So we're going to hear some Elliott Boo music. Booe, by the way, from Clay City, Indiana, which is what, southwest of Indianapolis?
Yes, sir. It's West Central Indiana. So
West Central?
Right there in the Wabash Valley by the Illinois line.
So did you grow up a Colts fan?
Well, you had to be something.
And a Pacers fan.
I watched the old NFL Films Super Bowl Sunday documentary, the old one. And so Johnny Unitas and those guys were big.
Also, by the way, we should say you played basketball for Indiana State, didn't you?
I did for a few years. It was awesome. It was a cool part of my life.
Pretty cool. Yeah. When I Googled you to do my research, first thing that came up was your stats with Indiana.
Don't look at them.
I know. That's right. He's a basketball player.
I got a great personality. But no, it was great, man, to play with the people that I played with and against the teams I played with.
You played with some big ones.
The coaching, it was a good experience.
Yeah, that's great. I think like songwriting, sports, the thing that's the same about that, I think, is that you play up. You know what I mean? You get better the better players you're playing against. And it's the same thing in songwriting. The more you play around people that are better than you, you rise to their level. And it just happens naturally. It really does. And your songwriting gets better, and it's really cool. And just a side story before you get started. When I was in radio, my second gig in radio, I was going from an adult contemporary station to a country station. And I remember listening to the station I was going to, and every jock was amazing. I'm like, oh my God, they've got these killer voices, and they're so good at what they do. And I went back to the station I was working at the time, and I said to the morning guy who had done this for years, he was big in radio there, and he said, Dave, I don't want you to worry about that. You're going to rise to the level of these guys, and don't sell yourself short. It's a good opportunity for you to grow, and it was. And I think the same with songwriting. Get out there, perform. You did it, and look where you're at now. Play us a song and tell us about it.
Yeah, we'll play a chorus note song.
Get on with it.
Yeah, this is going to be the first song on our album.
Okay.
From Fame Studios.
Cool. Fame Studios you recorded. Wait a minute. You recorded at Fame Studios.
You know it. Yeah, so...
we'll talk about it after the song.
Talk about it right after this. Yeah.
All sound the same. Oh, since you've been gone, something is missing. I'm a dog with no collar and a horse with no name. So I'm out on the range, me in this pain. Try to stir in the crazy, the season the same. Like a pea without you, there's no me after you. Turn the right into wrong, and you can't sing along. Oh, 'cause I'm just a chorus with no song. Brahma boots, an old wore-out Stetson, and all of them thoughts I kept to myself all along. I can't count my money, so I count my blessings. If I had it all, it'd be bad for my head. So I'm out on the range, just me and this pain. Try to stir in the crazy, Lord, the season the same. Like a pea without you, there's no me after you. Turn the right and the wrong, and you can't sing along. 'Cause I'm just a chorus with no song. Kept to myself. I can't count my money, but you can count my blessings. Oh, 'cause if I had it all, you know it'd be bad for my health. Lord, if I had it all, you know it'd be bad for my health. Lord, if I had it all, Lord, it'd be bad, bad, bad for my head.
Oh man, that's one way to look at it. If you had it all, it'd be bad for your health. I agree. Elliot Boo, Max Woolery on the lead guitar. Fantastic, you guys. Good job. Great song. Where'd the idea come from?
I wrote it twice when I first started writing. So probably in the first week that I met you.
Really?
I wrote, and right before that. Mm-hmm. How it all started, I was living in this place called Omohundro. It was an Airbnb behind this gal's house. And I wrote down eventually wrote down these things. I had a song every morning, that I would start in my head. I brought a guitar back to get through the day. I was at a really low point. I just got divorced. I was living without my daughter. And
it's
just
rough times
a lot of things,
yeah.
right? And talking to my buddy, I'm like, man, I think I got 10 or 15 songs in my head just from getting through the day. And he goes, you're in Nashville, asshole. Why don't you make them?
Yeah.
So I decided I was going to make this closure bucket list album, and I met this guy named Caleb with Cygnus Sound Studios, and he's an awesome dude.
Yeah.
And he does these one-offs, like, hey, I'll do a song for you for somebody coming in or an artist that's just getting going. I just found him, and I go in and met with him, and he said, yeah, this is what I can do, and we can do these songs. And I said, all right, I want to do 10 of them. And he's like, the same thing Max looks at me now when I ask him about recording something. He's like, what do you mean? To 10 of them, I just pull out these papers in my back pocket. And I said, I just want to make these. And I was like, this is in the Omohundro album. So I made an album in a month.
Wow.
And I never released it. It was a therapeutic thing, right? Yeah. A lot of them were demos mashed together. And it's just sitting there, with an album. But we made this album, and that's when I decided to start doing music. So it was at that point when I did that. So Chorus No Song is actually a mashup of both demos on that album.
I got it. And you know what I love about it? It's kind of the grease in the frying pan kind of thing. You start slow and then you pick it up. And I love songs that do that. Yeah.
But it was a cool thing because then a couple years later, which was just not that many months ago, I wrote the third version of it.
Wow.
And it was when we started playing band stuff and playing live. And a lot of that probably more feel came into it because we actually open with a song that's a mashup of two other ones. It goes slow and fast, but it's structured differently.
Right.
And I think that feel was kind of, when I rewrote it, it was in there. Right. Yeah. So now we kind of utilize that as almost where that cover might have been, and I think that's kind of what our set lists are, is how can we put together an all original show that actually works. Right?
I saw part of it at the local that night. It was really good, very high energy and very good. Now I know you've been playing the Muscle Shoals Songwriter Fest 2 years now, a couple years, and that's an amazing, for somebody who just started this thing 3.5 years ago, to play that one twice is absolutely amazing. So congratulations! And while there, you recorded at Muscle Shoals. Huh?
Yeah. And if you look here.
What's that?
This is a Muscle Shoals band.
But
this
band.
is from the first year. So I've taken it off like 6 or 7 times probably in there. And it's the only Songwriter Festival I've really, a few like local stuff that popped up. But as far as like, submitting for and getting accepted and all that kind of thing. And that was the first one that I got. Yeah. And then I got invited back, which is awesome.
Incredible.
And so I've worn this thing basically the whole time.
Good luck,
our second single, Onion Grass, stemmed from there.
Yeah.
That story stemmed from there, which then led to the album being done there, and and the album being called Onion Grass. So it's
Grass.
There's a lot of things that are tied together from beginning to end here. So.
In December, you released a song that has a lot of impact, and it really stuck out to me in my workouts this morning. And I had heard it before, but it was the real first chance for me to really dig into the lyrics. And it's the song that you wrote for your father. And I was wondering, we'll talk about it after the break, because we got a break coming up. But would you play that one for us, the Pilgrim?
Yeah.
Okay, Pilgrim. And just quickly, you can just sum it up real quick.
Sure.
And then play it for us, please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Pilgrim Chapter 34 is an ode to my dad and Chris Christopherson. Mm-hmm. He grew me up with the Christopherson, Willie Nelsons, and the Waylon Jennings, and these older albums, and then a Vern Gosdin or something here and there. But he was always talking about Christopherson and always talking about these different songwriters and what he believed was the greatest line here and there. But he always wanted Pilgrim Chapter 33, a Christopherson song, sang at his funeral. And when he passed away, I played it. And this was a little bit earlier in, a couple years in. And I don't play a lot of covers, and I never really played that song either. And I butchered it. I played it awful at his wake. And it's packed. A ton of people. He impacted a lot of people there. Yeah. And I thought how much he'd be laughing that I'm just butchering this song. He asked me to play it there because he'd be making fun of me. It would be.
He'd been proud of me.
But I had wrote this song, Pilgrim Chapter 34, before he passed. And it was because I'd started grieving him when he first found out 13 years ago that he had prostate cancer. It was aggressive then. So it was amazing that he would even, everything that he'd done since then was amazing, not to mention what he'd done previously. So the song is really about what he'd done previously and honoring that, but it's also an ode to Christopherson and that song in itself, and kind of tied it together.
Didn't surprise me. Those are the ones you grew up listening to. Doesn't surprise me. Grab that guitar. Let's hear that. That's a beautiful guitar, by the way. You want to talk about that real quick?
This Santa Cruz, and this is kind of cool. That goes into a little bit of everything with Dad. Is that we got to open for Alabama this year, and how that happened was opening for Brantley Gilbert, and we put out this album, and it had a song that I wrote with my dad on it, and me and Max put it on YouTube. Ended up, going on our album, and then winning a Josie Award. So it's goes this whole stretch of stuff. But it started with us being asked to open for Brantley Gilbert. Wow! And we just got the band together, and we're going to play this song we just released, and it's called "Song on the Radio." And we realized that the Brantley Gilbert show is on Dad's birthday. So it's stuff that you can't make up, and then it that runs into us being asked to open for Alabama. Wow. And the guitar that I was using, this Martin, it was having some issues on the big stadium, something was going on with it. And I said, man, I wish I had a guitar that was really ready for opening for Alabama. And a friend of mine, Jill, said, hey, we've met this guy named David. Why don't you ask him if he's got any guitar sitting around? And I called him, and he said, I don't have anything with me, but I'm doing some work with another company. I'm going to see what I can do. And essentially worked out
some other company.
Out a shipment, and 2 days later, some other company sends this guitar, and I'm holding a brand new Santa Cruz guitar.
It's a great guitar.
It's worth more than everything I own combined in music, right? And I'm just I don't even know what. And now there's only a handful of us that have really played and performed with it, and it's all of us.
Yeah.
It's the Impromptu.
Max and I are very jealous.
Well, that's why I just hand it to him. Because every time I give my guitar to somebody else, it sounds way better.
I know. I'm those notes aren't in my guitar. And they go, yeah, it is. And then play.
But we've had the opportunity to basically have this on loan, sponsored basically by Santa Cruz, which I'm super grateful for. And it's an amazing guitar. It makes me sound way better than I ever did before. And maybe that's not great, but man, is it awesome. We wrote a song that has it in it about the zip tie that was hanging off of it. I mean, It's got a lot of things radiated, but it was cool to play these songs on,
Pilgrim 34, right? This is Elliot Boo, along with Max Woolery.
Grizzly voice and big long beard, Wasn't big, but he was feared. 5'8", may as well have been 10 foot tall. Yeah, he was a sawmill man, and he played in a traveling band. He was a pilot and professor and a preacher with a fire and brimstone. Came from nothing, so he didn't know better. Fall like hell with mama, but they stayed together. Right or wrong through it all. He was a father and a fighter. Do you never rider? You never could see his muscles, but you knew he was strong. He was a father and a fighter. Do you never rider? And I can't build him a statue, so I wrote him a song. Mama's the reason why he's so mean. He had a temper like you ain't never seen. He meant well, but he's the reason that I'm so loud. He's the reason for the shit-eating grin. Lord knows I got my nose from him. All the bumming and the strumming and the running, trying to make him proud. Said you can't lose nothing if it's gone. Taking wrong directions on his way back home. Never seen him stop believing. Looked like Billy Gibbons with a sawmill tan. Was a genuine article of man. He kept right on changing through it all. He was a father and a fighter. Do you never rider? And never could see his muscles, but you knew he was strong. He was a father and a fighter. Do you never rider? And I can't build him a statue, so I wrote him a song. Father and a fighter. Do you never rider? You never could see his muscles, but you knew he was strong. He was a father and a fighter. Do you never rider? And they built him a statue, so I wrote him a song. Oh, can't build him a statue, so I wrote him a song.
Awesome song. Elliott Boo is our guest on the Songwriter Connection. Be right back.
You're listening to the Songwriter Connection with Dave Linehan. Find us on Facebook and YouTube at the Songwriter Connection Podcast. And find Dave at thedaveconnection.com. Now back to the show with your host, Dave Linehan.
Well, thank you for joining us again. I always ask you at this point, if you're listening on YouTube, and although we're not a video podcast, please hit the like and subscribe. You'll never miss an episode, and that helps us more than you'll ever know. And we also like to promote the fact that we've got our own Spotify playlist that I curate, and every Wednesday when we release a new one, I release a couple of songs from that artist. So check it out if you will. Certainly appreciate it. There's some big songs of some of the guests that we've had, like The House That Built Me and If Tomorrow Ever Comes, many others. So you'll be surprised and you'll love it. So our guest is Elliot Boo. Elliot, thank you for joining us and bringing your friend Max. Max in the Impromptus, right? Your band?
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Great lead guitar player.
Max is kind of, he does a lot more than play guitar.
I'm sure he does.
For sure.
Yeah, co-writes,
sings, co-writes, plays guitar, produces.
Got your own studio,
engineers,
right?
deals with me.
Deals with you.
And that's the main thing.
There's about 10 things.
Yeah.
It's a blast to be around. Like,
it really is.
Such a creative energy ball, like all the time. It's fun to be around. Always got songs to record and to finish writing, and it's fun to be.
He's a
part of
a high energy dude, isn't he? And he does it all, booking and everything. That's what I love about independent artists. You really learn how to do it all, don't you? And Elliot, I really have to commend you again because they tell you everybody that comes into this town, it's a 10-year town, and you didn't listen at all. You've been doing this 3.5 years, and you've done some amazing things. And when I get a publicist like the one I just really love is the one that's doing work for you. And when Bev contacts me and says, "Hey, will you get this artist on?" I do. She brought me Ali Colleen. She paraded Jeannie Seeley before she passed. Right up my driveway, and we sat down, and many others too. And she said, "Would you get Elliot Boo on?" I go, "Elliot Boo." She, this is what everything's doing. I know Elliot. It's fine. We're going to set it up. I love her. So tell folks how you did it in such a short amount of time. Give us some advice. Tell us the Boo, the Boo recipe for success.
Delusion. You gotta start.
I didn't expect that answer.
You got to start with a delusion.
A delusion, huh?
Well, because I can find 100 reasons why I suck every day, right?
Yeah,
and
you can.
If I want somebody to tell me that they love everything that I do, then I'm gonna call my mom. So I've already got those two taken care of.
That's great.
So you go and find people that you respect and that you enjoy, whether they're friends, musicians, however that is, and if you develop a group of those people, then you start making the music that you want to make. That's not an advice, because the complete opposite advice is how you're supposed to make it financially and doing that. So you have to start out with that delusion or the decision of, am I doing this for the feeling or the purpose that it gives me, or do I do it specifically for, women and money, or or whatever things you might pick. It's on a different.
Tell us
thing.
why you. Which?
Well, I was in this Airbnb 4 years ago, and going from a completely different financial situation and jobs and career and life and everything in Indiana to down here, and it all kind of imploded during COVID, and kind of sitting there wrestling with what am I doing. And those songs I ended up writing into this album were what got me through the day every day. So just getting them out, which I would always write things down, and I probably had this in me somewhere my whole life and never did that. So this means of expression that I probably needed, I'd never used. Right?
Is that how you discovered your abilities through the hard times?
Well, I mean, I already had them. I used to write poems and things like that. My brain always worked this way, but I never really tried to play music, right? I played basketball. My dad was a musician. I'd rather hear him play. And I felt comfortable in front of a bunch of people playing basketball, but I wasn't a performer like that.
Your dad was a performer?
He played in a band. He wrote down here as a hobby, would come down in the middle of everything else he was doing, and wanted to write. So this was more of a dream of his.
He's got some awesome songs.
He's got some very awesome,
Your dad,
he's very, very cool songs
on tapes, and it's awesome.
And it kind of goes into some of the songs I write too, and the ones we've done together, and his stories of those. But he came down here writing while he was running a business and starting a family and doing all these things, playing in a band.
And you worked in the family business for a while.
I did.
What was that?
It's a sawmill. It's Boo and Son Hardwoods. He built it in 1979 and grew it and kept it rolling, and it fed us. Took me to basketball games. Had my brother racing cars. It was the livelihood.
Thus the line Sawmill Tan.
The Sawmill Tan, and it was Billy Gibbons. His
he looked like
all this funny stuff because I wrote this a couple years ago, right? I looked like Billy Gibbons with the Sawmill Tan, and him and his brothers, my uncles, they were just sawmillers, right? Huge beards, bald guys with huge beards. So if you saw them in any group picture, they looked like ZZ Top. For 20 years, right? This is just the way it was. So he looked like Billy Gibbons with a sawmill tan, and then me and Max ended up last year going out to Wise River Club, which is Tim Montana and Billy Gibbons hunting club. We get to play. I think we played that song there, which is cool. Wow. Like these cool things that don't have any real connection out here, but inside, you know, to us, there's things that mean something. And I think that starting to write when I got down here was my means of expression that helped me deal with my own self and my own demons and whatever. And it's still not working, you know. I ain't better. It's working, but
very therapeutic.
It's not a man that this is a magic bullet, right? Like but it's something that I think saved me. So my purpose has been way different than I started playing in college to impress girls, I wanted to be this when I got
like
here.
Basketball didn't impress him enough. Huh?
Right. So people would ask me every few months when you get down here, hey, so what do you want to be? Because you're going to have to pick an artist or a songwriter, or do you want to do this, or you want to pick this, or you got to pick this, and shoving you into lanes is because that's how.
And what did you say?
And I said, I'll let you know in a couple months. And then after a couple months went by now I just say, well, it ain't my plan. They said, what's your plan? And I'm like, it ain't mine. You know, just try to stay in the right current. And then you can definitely feel when you get out of it.
Max, outlaw, right?
It's like he can't claim it, and I don't blame him. That'd be, you know, I'm an outlaw. That
I'm an outlaw.
That's not very.
We
outlaw,
do when we're joking around, though.
We're joking around.
I think it fits the
outlaw
whole
kinda
doing your own thing.
Yeah,
and like
I think so too.
Disappointing a lot of people because you just won't play that game, and you write creative songs that they would never want you to put on an album, but they're more meaningful sometimes.
I admire that.
I mean, look at the title. The title list. You got chorus, no song,
Trucker Jesus,
Onion Grass, Zip Tie. Like just on the one album.
Mama Red Bull.
Mama/Red Bull. You can't play that one today.
Can't play that one.
It's too long.
Tell me about Onion Grass. I want to know more about that one.
Yeah, so Onion Grass, you were talking about the Muscle Shoals Songwriter Festival.
Yeah.
The first year I got to go down there, and in most of these places, like nobody really knows me in big circles, right? I'm around a lot to where a few people start noticing me.
Yeah.
But like when you go to these big festivals and stuff, there's hit writers and all these people, and I don't meet all these people. Like even the shows we've got to open for, we were either talking to locals or people that came to see us or doing this or that, and we haven't been able to like hang out with Brantley Gilbert or these guys. So I don't really get a chance to sit around and really talk to a lot of these people. So I'm kind of this shy nerd, like just kind of walking around by myself in a spot.
He's not shy,
and
not the Elliot I know.
Well, he might be a nerd,
Jekyll and Hyde. But the shy part of me is walking around. I'm like, okay, I'm going to play guitar, but I'm going to go to the end of this big old hotel. I'm going to go down by the convention center, which is way down, like downstairs, and I'm sitting at the end of this little corridor and I'm banging around on this guitar. And these people come around the corner and they said, hey, you sound great. And I said, oh, you can hear that? And they said, oh, honey, you can hear that in the lobby. Well, it was like everything was shooting directly down into this where I was trying to get away from. So I'm like, all right. So I grab it and I put it back in my case and I head back up to the deal. And going around towards the lobby, there's a coffee shop there. So I walk in to get a coffee. Two young country gals, you know, maybe 30 years old, sitting there serving coffee. And I start talking to them about whatever, you know, when we got into how we grew up. And I was like, I grew up in the middle of nowhere in Indiana, redneck Indiana. And it was kind of like that old George Carlin skit where they said, here's a stick, come back at dinner. And that was like what we did. We went out and wandered through the woods, and this is how we grew up. And a gal named Sydney Thompson was looking across the aisle from me, handing me my coffee, and she was like understanding it, right? Like she grew up like that out there around Muscle Shoals. And maybe it was in Mississippi. I'm trying to think of the town she grew up in, but she just looked at me and said, I played with Onion Grass. And I said, that was her version of that. Like, hey, me too, you know? And I thought, man, that was really cool. And I came back home, wrote a song about it, and started it. And I texted her and I said, hey, I found her on Instagram. And I said, hey, I'm writing a song on what you said, and I really appreciate it. And she sends me back this thing. Hey, and I really appreciate it. You know, your music and your conversation just made me think about the Tennessee trees. And she said one other little line, so I put that line in the second verse. Wow. And I made her a songwriter on the song. So now Sydney Thompson can be a songwriter. I finished it, and I said, I really want to cut this, but how are we going to do it? And just like every other Impromptu's thing, I get invited back to the Muscle Shoals, and I call him and I said, hey, the Flobama is this great bar downtown. let's try to get the gig there. And a few people helped me out, hooked me up with Drew. I got a show there for the band on Friday.
Awesome.
So we got to bring the whole band. We played on Friday after the show got going. Oliver and I played in the Songwriter Festival that Saturday morning. Then Sunday, we got up, went to Muscle Shoals, and spent 13 hours cutting what ended up being 8 songs.
Wow.
And because we cut Onion Grass, in this deal, it's like we have to cut this Onion Grass.
2 questions.
It's the album title.
Did you give Cindy a co-write on that?
What's that?
Cindy Thompson get a co-write on that?
Sydney Thompson gets a co-write.
That's awesome.
So whether she likes it or not, she is now a co-writer. We'll have to send her the links to all the stuff you're going to have to do in order to...
You're going to play it for us now, right? Right? That's the second question. Will you play it for us?
Yeah.
And what is onion grass?
Man, onion grass is just like them, just little junk grass.
You get the skinny, tall little patches this big.
Yeah.
That's onion grass.
That's onion grass.
If you pull some of it up, there's like little onions under there.
That's what some of them kids did in Little League out in center field.
Right. The ones in right field.
The ones in right field.
Right field, yeah. There's nothing happens in right field. All right, you set it up. Let's hear it. Elliot Boo is our guest of Songwriter Connection podcast.
I played with onion grass before I was skipping class. Back before Daddy caught me and Lord, he whooped my ass. I graduated all the way to being a man. Grew up way too fast. Perhaps it was my past that led me down a path of lost love and cash. No, I can't take it back. Yeah, that's the part of life that I just can't stand. I played with onion grass, lied to the Lord, cried when I was happy, had a blast when I was bored. I still love my mama, miss my daddy every day. And the way that it was when I played with onion grass. This old town brings me back, right across the tracks, to that old front porch swing where we sang and laughed, and argued over this and that, the ways of the world. I wanna go home where the dogs roam, where the purple irises grow free, like the smell of those Tennessee trees, and the sweet memory, and nearly anything about that girl. As I played with onion grass, lied to the Lord, cried when I was happy, had a blast when I was bored. I still love my mama, miss my daddy every day. And the way that it was when I played with onion grass. all with onion grass. Oh Lord, won't you bring me back right across the tracks? Oh, please let me dream.
Beautiful, guys. Awesome. Elliot Boo, Max Woolery on the guitar over there.
Yeah.
We got time for one more, man. And a quick story about it, and then we'll take you out.
Awesome. Well,
yeah.
Thank you for having us again.
Man, what a pleasure. Good to get to know you better.
I feel like we got to give a shout out to Max and a little bit about what he's about.
Yep.
He don't even want to say it. That's what I'm saying. That I got to be that guy for them. But no, Max is a producer, engineer, musician, songwriter, everything.
Whole package, yeah.
Yeah, he don't want the business, but he'll take it. If you need anything like that.
Well, where do they find you, Max?
You don't consider at Max Woolery Music.
Yeah, there you go. At
you
Max
can get me on mostly
yeah.
Instagram. I love meeting folks out. The first thing I do to new people is, oh, come to the studio, man. Check it out.
Absolutely.
Come find me out somewhere, and then we'll go hang out.
Very cool. Sounds good, man.
But awesome dude. And amazing in what he does as well. So
thanks for being here, Max. Appreciate your time.
It's been fun.
Yeah.
What you want to play, Max?
Oh, dude. I don't know.
Let's do it.
It's getting to that point where it's like I'm trying to figure out a 90-minute set list, and I can't figure out what to cut.
We could do something stronger or something.
You want to do one that we wrote? Do that one?
Yeah, do that one.
Let's do that. This would be the first. I said it's the first song we wrote together. He's like, I don't know, man.
Wow.
But yeah, we got together. And, I wish there was another. Man, we hit this whole deal, but really, it was the first song we wrote together and put it together. And when he starts playing, his personality and everything, it mixes that. It's fun to write with Robbie and Griffin and all the guys that work in our group.
Yeah.
Because of everything that bleeds through, and I think it kind of speaks to what we go through, but also we don't write a lot of songs glorifying alcoholism. It's just it's called us outlaws or whatever, but that's not not in our first run, right? But this is about that.
Okay.
Raised my voice when I should have, pulled a punch when I could have, ruined a man's reputation in the dirt. I fell victim to my ego, and I know the path that we go down now, and we feel lonely and hurt. Every morning's another small reminder of a past I still belong to. Oh, and every night ends with something stronger. It seems the only way to make it through. I've seen enough to know better, but unfolding these love letters got me teary-eyed, realizing I'm alone. I keep pushing my own patience on this permanent vacation. I can go anywhere but home. Every morning's another small reminder of a past I still belong to. Oh, and every night ends with something stronger. It seems the only way to make it through. I wake up waiting in deep water, count my blessings one by one. Oh, and every night ends with something stronger. If sunrise, another lesson and moving on.
Only half of it.
of a past I still belong to. Oh, and every night ends with something stronger. It seems the only way to make it through. I wake up waiting in deep water.
Deep water.
Count my blessings one by one. Oh, and every night ends with something strong.
Something stronger.
And sunrise, another lesson moving on. Every sunrise, another lesson moving on. Every sunrise, another lesson in moving on.
Yeah, guys. And Elliot, he sings a good harmony as well.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
He's good at everything.
Thanks, Max. Appreciate you guys joining us. Elliot Boo, our guest today. All the best to you and more success. Yeah. And I know we're going to see you on down the line.
Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate it.
Now, St. Paddy's Day, with the name of Lenahan, I'm Irish, and so St. Paddy's Day is a big celebration for us. It's Tuesday the 17th, and on next week's show, which will be the 11th, we've got a special guest lined up. He owns one of the coolest places in town called Turk's. It's an Irish pub not too far from where I live, and so Turk McNamara, who is from Ireland, is going to come in and play some songs, and we're going to talk about things Celtic.
That's going to be amazing.
It's going to be cool. Yeah.
I love that.
And we also have lined up for the April Fool's show. I'm bringing in a rock act, and we try to remain genreless here. And they're called Good Terms. I believe they're out of Las Vegas, but they're playing at the Cannery Row coming up here in the next few weeks. And they're going to stop by, and we're going to talk about things in their world. They're doing some really cool things. So thank you for joining us. Keep telling everybody about it. We're working towards 4 million streams, folks. I cannot believe it, but it's happening. And as I always say, hey, right on. That's WRITE. See you next time.
That's a wrap from the dining room table. Thanks for joining the conversation and chasing the music with us. From Nashville, Tennessee, this is the Songwriter Connection, the award-winning elite music podcast of the year, connecting the songs and the people who write them.